to season 2 of Nicky's Savory Vegan Eats. I am Nicky and I am going to be your hostess throughout this entire season. So how was your new year? I hope that your new year and holiday was everything that you expected it to be and more, despite the challenges that we all faced throughout 2020. I am hoping and praying for a very, very blessed and prosperous 2021 for all of us, despite whatever challenges we may go through this year. Now, before I actually tell you what I'm going to be making for episode 1, I want to make sure that you all, if you haven't already, you're subscribing to my channel on Nicky's Savory Vegan Eats so that you're not missing out. And make sure that you actually click that notifications button below. Just click it so when I drop a new video, guess what? You'll be notified. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to tell you guys what I'm going to be making in episode 1. So I decided I'm going to be making a vegan charcuterie board. That's right, you heard it. I'm making a vegan charcuterie board. Do you all know how long it took for me to pronunciate that word? I was saying charcuterie, charcuterie, and I was saying some other pronunciations that is not even worth me going over. So charcuterie actually is derived from the French words char and coute. Now, let's face it, I know my French sucks, but basically the English terminology is flesh and cooked. So here's how far my French goes. I know bonjour, comment allez-vous? Je m'appelle Nicole or je m'appelle Nicky. I hope that's how you say Nicky in French. And last but not least, au revoir. So that's the extent of my French. And if you do speak French fluently, please let me know if I butchered up any of those words. So, as you may already know, with a typical charcuterie board, you'll have some delicious smoked meats such as salami, as well as prosciutto. There'll be some cheeses, and you'll see some nuts and some type of grains, if you will. But I'm going to veganize my charcuterie board. And the star of my board is going to be my lemongrass roasted garlic dill hummus. That's right, you guys. So I'm going to take my first attempt and make hummus from scratch. So stay tuned as I make out my charcuterie board. Okay, so before I begin building out my hummus, I wanted to show you all that there's going to be 4 main ingredients that I'm going to use to actually build out my hummus. So first I'm going to be using my garbanzo beans right here, also known as chickpeas. I'm going to actually be using 2 cans of these. And in addition to using the garbanzo beans, we're going to actually save some of the juice, also known as aquafaba. This juice that you actually see right inside of the garbanzo beans, some of this is actually going to go inside of my food processor to make out my hummus. Next, I'm going to be using 1 roasted garlic clove. Now, I went ahead and roasted this beforehand. So what I did is I cut the top of the garlic and then I just simply drizzled it over olive oil and I roasted it in the oven for 45 minutes. It smells absolutely amazing, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be amazing. Next, I'm gonna be putting in some fresh dill. I love cooking with fresh herbs, you guys. So I'm gonna be adding some dill to my hummus. You can practically use any type of herb as you see fit, whatever your favorite herb is, but I love dill among other herbs. Last but not least, I'm going to be using lemongrass. It smells absolutely amazing. So lemongrass is widely known to be used in soups and stews, and many people in Thailand use lemongrass a lot. When I went to Thailand many moons ago, I recall eating some prawn soup at the time when I was eating seafood, and the lemongrass is what really made my soup stand out. So I'm hoping that I'm going to get that similar effect as it pertains to my hummus. So I'm going to go ahead and take 4 tablespoons of my aquafaba juice and pour it inside of my food processor. Now, if you don't have a food processor, you can just simply use a blender or a Ninja bullet or a Vitamix, anything that pretty much has like a blending cycle, that's what you can use. So there is my 4 tablespoons of aquafaba. So after adding the 4 tablespoons of the aquafaba juice inside of my food processor, I'm going to simply just take the rest of my chickpeas, and I've actually drained out the rest of the juice, and I'm going to take my 2 cans and I'm just going to simply pour them inside of my food processor. So now that I have my chickpeas inside of my food processor, I'm going to go ahead and take my roasted garlic and I'm going to just pour that inside of the food processor as well. You can use a little bit more garlic or you can use less. Okay, so then next I'm going to actually take 2 tablespoons of garlic tahini sauce. You can just get regular tahini sauce, but I just went ahead and got me some garlic tahini where it was already blended. So I'm going to open this up carefully so it doesn't splatter out on my sweater. And I'm going to just take me 2 tablespoons here. So here we go. There's 1, and you can notice how the consistency is nice and creamy. It's 1 and then 2. It's creamy and runny. Yikes. So just be careful. All right. So now we have our 2 tablespoons of tahini sauce. Then next, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to take 1 lemon here and I'm going to just cut it in half. I don't think you guys have ever seen me like with a knife and cutting things, so this is good. Yeah. So I'm going to actually take this lemon and just cut it in half, and then I'm going to use my little lemon juicer here, or squirter, whatever you want to call it, and just pour in the juice here. I hope this works because this is actually new, so I have never used this before. All right, or if you have a lemon strainer, that'll work too. Please work. Oh, it worked. Look at that, you guys. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I did not want this to be part of the bloopers because I have somewhere to go after this, but nonetheless, it's working. So just take all that juice there. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my other one and I'm going to put it in like so as well. Now my hummus is going to be actually probably pretty lemony because I'm going to actually, in addition to adding this lemon juice, I'm going to be adding a lemongrass stock. But it just depends on your tolerance for flavor. So I'm going to have some extra lemon and I'm going to have some nice dilly hummus too. There we go. Perfect. Ooh, I'm working out those forearms, you guys. Okay, so next I'm going to use my cumin. I'm going to actually take about a teaspoon of cumin. This is like a half a teaspoon, but I'm going to take a teaspoon of cumin and add it to my chickpeas as well. Cumin naturally has a strong flavor to it, so you don't really necessarily have to put a whole lot unless you really want to taste that natural flavor. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lemongrass stock. Remember I was talking about that, you guys, in the beginning? So here's my lemongrass stock. And what I did is I already cut off the top and the base of it. And I'm going to just simply take it out of its shell here. It's like so. And I'm going to just cut a few slices of it and just take some of that lemongrass and put it inside of my hummus. Make sure I don't cut off my nail in the process. All right, so yeah, the lemongrass actually is very, very aromatic. So I'm just gonna take some of this like so. You guys can see what it looks like. And I'm just gonna simply just put it in there. Then I'm going to take some dill, fresh dill that I have here as well. It's so green, I love fresh herbs, look at it. And I'm going to just simply dice up my dill and include it inside of my hummus. And then once I actually complete out the hummus, I'm going to dress up my hummus and just add some dill as a garnish as well. So like I said, you can add a little, a lot, or none at all. It just depends on your preference or what you actually like. I love to cook with fresh herbs, so I am going all out to add a lot of dill. All right, here is my dill. So pretty, so green. I'm gonna scrape a glass of this because fresh herbs, they cost, you guys, they cost money. There we go. One of these days, I'm looking to actually build out my own garden, if you will, because I'm sure it would be more cost efficient. So stay tuned for that as well. Now, last but not least, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my pink Himalayan salt to taste. I've already kind of grinded it up right here. I have like a little grinder on the inside right here. So I already grinded it up. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of that just for taste. And if I feel like I need a little bit more, I'll add it, or if not, I'll just leave it as is. And then I'm going to take some of my peppercorns here and just simply grind them inside of the hummus. Okay, so now I'm going to simply just blend out my chickpeas until it has a nice consistency for hummus. Okay, now after several attempts of trying to make out my hummus, you guys, I finally nailed it. I nailed it. Okay, so what you didn't see is I have, basically stopped my video and I had to pulse my hummus. I had to put it on pulse mode to be able to get it to have that consistency of like store-bought hummus. And so what I did is I put it on pulse. I added some extra olive oil as well as some more garlic tahini sauce to give it that nice consistency and flow of hummus. And then I just added a little bit more salt because the store-bought hummus, it has a lot of ingredients in there, and I'm gonna leave it right there. But nonetheless, this is my end result, you guys. Look at the consistency of my hummus. Do you see that right there? Oh my gosh, doesn't it look like hummus? Doesn't it look like hummus, you guys? Okay, so I'm gonna taste this and see how it actually turned out. But I wanted you guys to actually see this consistency. So let me taste it one more time. Here we go. And as you can see, I'm just pulling it right here. It looks like hummus. Oh my gosh. Oh, here we go. Mmm. Mmm. Oh my freaking goodness. This is so good. That was a big spoonful that I took too, wasn't it? But I love hummus. In this household, hummus doesn't stay around too long. This is so good, you guys. Oh my gosh, I nailed it. The recipe is going to be in the description for those of you who are wondering. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Mmm. Mmm, mmm, mmm. You can taste all the flavors, you guys. You can taste the fresh dill and the garlic tahini sauce, as well as that lemongrass stock. That is a winner right there for sure. And the roasted garlic. It tastes so amazing. Okay, so this was actually the start of my vegan charcuterie board. Now I'm going to simply just build out my charcuterie board. Okay, you guys, so now I'm going to continue building out my vegan charcuterie board. So as you can see, I have my board right here, and I'm going to take my lemongrass, roasted garlic, dill hummus that I actually prepared out, and you can see the consistency. It looks absolutely amazing, you guys. And what I'm going to do is simply just build out my board before your very own eyes. So this is my first time actually building out a vegan charcuterie board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a little bit of olive oil. So I'm just going to take a little olive oil. Generally, when I go to like Mediterranean restaurants, I see that they actually just sometimes put a little olive oil on top of the hummus, and that just gives it a little extra flavor and then consistency so that your hummus is not dry. And this hummus that I made actually is not dry. And then now I'm going to just simply take me some smoked paprika right here, just for a little bit of color, and I'm going to sprinkle it like so around my hummus. So I'm literally just building this out for presentation purposes so that you guys can see. All right, and then last but not least, I'm gonna take me some dry parsley flakes right here, and I'm going to just simply just put it around my hummus as well. Oh, it's coming together. Oh, so lovely, you guys. All right, I think that's enough. And then last but not least, what would my hummus be and how would it be complete if I didn't simply just take a little extra dill? Because I named this my lemongrass roasted garlic dill hummus. So I'm going to just simply just take a couple of pieces and put in my dill like so. Many times I'll get people telling me that, Nikki, you build out your dishes looking so nice and colorful, and they want to be able to see how I'm building it out. And literally there's no method to my madness. I just simply, just use my imagination, which I have a very vivid one at that. And then I just simply just put in, a little fresh herbs, and voila, we have the lemongrass roasted garlic hummus. Isn't that so cute, you guys? Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm gonna leave this right here. Because I am vegan and I no longer eat like the salamis and the prosciuttos, I actually am gonna be using some mushroom jerky. So right here I have mushroom jerky. This is the mushroom jerky that I actually purchased from Veg In and Out Market here in Las Vegas. I gotta give them a shout out because they are definitely my go-to vegan store for all of my goodies. So I really just simply got 2 different types of mushroom jerky. I have an original as well as a zesty Thai. And the brand that I have here, this is actually Pans. Pans actually was featured on Shark Tank, and they actually won a deal with Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban actually is a huge advocate for vegan food and products. So basically, I decided to try out Pan's mushroom jerky because I saw it featured on Shark Tank, and I love watching that show.
To find out what all I included on my vegan charcuterie board, please be sure to check out the description box where it will list out all of the ingredients.
This is my vegan charcuterie board.